Welcome, my friend, to a journey unlike any other. This channel is dedicated to those who dare to dream, to those who long to unlock the hidden power within, and to those who are ready to transform the unseen currents of their mind into the living reality they walk each day. If you are here, it is not by chance. You have been drawn by something greater, something deep inside you that knows you were meant for more. Today, we will uncover a truth so profound, it has the power to alter the trajectory of your life forever. Stay with me until the very end, because only then will the promise hidden in these words reveal itself to you in full light. Subscribe if these words stir something in you. Share this with someone who is searching for hope, and prepare yourself. The journey begins now. There is a story that has been whispered across time through prophets, mystics, philosophers, and visionaries. A story that says, the world you see around you is not fixed, not immutable, not a prison of circumstance, but rather a mirror, a reflection, an echo of the unseen world within you. Every triumph, every failure, every moment of despair, every glimpse of joy is not imposed from the outside, but born from the inside. What you hold in the quiet of your imagination becomes flesh in the theater of your days. What you consent to feel, what you allow yourself to dwell upon, is sculpted in silence and then projected in the loudness of life. This truth is simple, but simplicity is deceptive. For if it is so easy, why then do so many live in chains of lack, fear, and sorrow? The reason is not that this law is weak, it is unbreakable. The reason is not that people are excluded, no one is denied. The reason is that man forgets. Man forgets that the secret is not out there in the stars, or hidden in the systems of the world, or guarded by the hands of kings. The secret rests closer than your breath, nearer than your heartbeat. The secret rests in your own consciousness. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a great projector. The images you feed it, the reels of film you select, become the motion picture that unfolds before your eyes. And just like a projector, the world on the screen cannot change until the reel within it is replaced. People try to scratch at the screen, fight the shadows, argue with the pictures, not realizing that nothing will change until they return to the source of the film. The world is not your cause, it is your effect. And here in this realization lies both your liberation and your responsibility. For if your consciousness is the cause, then no one else holds the reins of your life but you. You may have been born into conditions you did not choose. You may have walked through storms you did not expect. But still the power to create anew remains with you, untouched, unbroken. Think of this. Every moment of your life, you are impressing upon your deeper self, the subconscious, the silent womb of creation, the feelings and images you most often dwell upon. It does not judge, it does not reject, it does not argue. It simply receives, conceives, and gives birth to whatever is planted within it. If you plant fear, it will grow circumstances of fear. If you plant resentment, it will grow chains of resentment. If you plant abundance, love, and victory, it will weave these into your world with astonishing precision. The question is never whether you are creating. The question is, what are you creating? Pause for a moment and think. What have you been rehearsing in your inner theater? What silent dialogues have you been repeating? What secret emotions have you been nursing? Because whether you know it or not, they are already blossoming into form. The great mystic Neville Goddard once declared, "As within, so without. As above, so below." And though these words echo ancient scripture, they are as relevant to your modern life as the air you breathe. Your relationships, your finances, your health, your opportunities, all are reflections of your inner assumptions. This is not philosophy alone. This is law. And yet, here is where most stumble. They hear these words, they nod in agreement, they may even feel inspired for a moment. But when the evidence of their senses screams otherwise, when the bank account shows lack, when the mirror reflects sickness, when the world echoes rejection, they retreat. They surrender to appearances. They bow to shadows. But I say to you now, deny appearances and embrace the truth of your inner power. For appearances are but delayed reflections, echoes of past beliefs. To live by what you see is to remain chained to what has already been created. To live by what you feel as true, even when unseen, is to step into the role of creator.
Here is the mystery. Here is the paradox that few dare to hold. You must feel the wish fulfilled before the world gives you any evidence of its fulfillment. You must dare to claim victory in the silence of your mind, even while the battlefield of life still rages with conflict. You must embody abundance when lack stares you in the face. You must walk as love when rejection stings your heart. You must breathe peace when storms howl around you. This is not delusion. This is faith, not faith as blind belief, but faith as creative vision. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is the bridge between imagination and reality. So tonight, when you lay your head on the pillow, dare to feel that you are already the one you wish to be. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not wait for signs. Begin now. Feel it as though it were already done. Whisper to yourself, "It is finished." And as you fall asleep in that state, you plant the seed in the richest soil of creation. But let me give you this warning, as gentle as it is urgent. If you continue to sleep each night rehearsing the tragedies of the day, if you surrender to feelings of failure, doubt, or bitterness, your subconscious will faithfully carry those seeds forward. You will awaken tomorrow only to reap the same harvest you cursed yesterday. Do not let this be your fate. You are the gardener. You must choose your seeds. So I ask you now, what do you choose? Do you choose life, or do you choose death? Do you choose victory, or do you choose defeat? Do you choose to remain a prisoner of circumstances, or will you rise as the master of creation? You may be wondering if this is true. If consciousness is truly the cause, then what of the struggles, the heartbreaks, the betrayals I've endured? What of the pain I did not ask for? Listen closely, because the answer to this will change the way you see every chapter of your life, even the darkest ones. Every wound you have carried, every loss you have endured, every betrayal that pierced your heart, none of it was meaningless. I do not say this to minimize your pain, for pain is real. I say this to awaken you to the hidden thread that runs through even the darkest tapestry. The struggles you faced were not punishments. They were mirrors, opportunities, revelations of the hidden patterns within you. This is the hardest truth to accept, that even in the storms of life, you were never a victim of chance. You were always encountering the outpicturing of subconscious beliefs, many of them planted long ago, many of them inherited without your knowing. But here lies the miracle. Once you see that the stage of your life is built from within, you also see that you hold the power to change the play. Imagine a playwright who watches his own play unfold upon the stage. He sees a scene he does not like. Does he rush to scold the actors? Does he blame the audience? No. He returns to the script. He rewrites. And soon, the actors perform the new scene as though it had always been so. You too must return to your script, your inner assumptions, your feelings, your silent beliefs, for that is where every scene of your future is written. Consider your life up to this point. Think of the patterns that have repeated, the familiar disappointments, the recurring conflicts. Do they not all seem like chapters from the same storybook, playing over and over? That is no accident. The subconscious does not discriminate. It faithfully replicates whatever has been impressed upon it, until you intervene with a new feeling, a new vision, a new assumption. So if you wish to break the cycle, you must dare to assume the new state, even when all appearances insist the old story is still alive. This is the great test, to persist in imagination until the new pattern takes root. For persistence is the secret ingredient. A single thought quickly abandoned rarely bears fruit, but a state of consciousness, held with feeling, rehearsed day after day, impressed through sleep, prayer, and emotion, that state must manifest. There are those who scoff at this truth. They point to their failures, to the weight of the world, and declare, life is unfair, life is random, I am powerless. And by their very declaration, they seal their fate. For the subconscious hears them and says, so be it. But there are others, perhaps you are among them, who hear these words and something stirs inside. Something says, this is true. This is why I've always felt more was possible. This is why I've always had visions beyond my present life. To those who dare to believe, the universe opens its gates. Let us descend deeper. What does it mean to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled? It does not mean to merely think about your desire. It does not mean to beg for it or to strain for it. It means to become it. Close your eyes for a moment. Think of something you long for, whether it be love, health, wealth, peace, or purpose. Now ask yourself, if it were mine right now, how would I feel? That feeling, not the image, not the words, but the feeling is the key. Capture it. Let it sink into your bones. Let it linger as though it were already fact. And as you rest in that state, you are impressing the subconscious with the very mold of your future. This is the art of creation. Not forcing, not struggling, not fighting, but assuming and resting. Do not confuse this with passivity. To assume the feeling is not to abandon action, but to align action. When you dwell in the feeling of your fulfilled desire, life orchestrates itself in ways you could never calculate. Opportunities appear, people cross your path, ideas rise within you. The world seems to conspire for your good. This is not coincidence. It is law. Think of the radio. You do not beg the station to play your favorite song. You do not chase the music through the air. You simply tune your dial to the right frequency and the song flows to you. The frequency was always there, waiting for you to align. So it is with your desires. They already exist, already vibrate in the unseen. You must simply tune the frequency of your consciousness.
And yet many ask, what of fear? What of doubt? Let me tell you this, fear and doubt are not your enemies. They are signals. They reveal where you have not yet aligned. They are shadows cast by old assumptions. When they rise, do not curse them, simply notice them, and then return to your chosen feeling. Like waves, they may come again, but with each return to your wish fulfilled, the waves lose their strength. Eventually, the tide turns, and the new state becomes natural, effortless, unquestioned. This is why repetition is sacred. Night after night, as you drift into sleep, enter the state of your wish fulfilled. Morning after morning, as you rise, remind yourself of who you are. Throughout the day, when doubts creep in, gently shift your attention back to the feeling you desire. Do not fight the old, starve it of attention. Do not curse the weeds, plant new seeds. Some will tell you that change takes years, that life is slow to move, that reality is rigid. But I tell you now, time is an illusion of the senses. Change does not take years. Change takes a moment, the moment you accept a new state as true. The outer world may take time to catch up, but the inner shift is instantaneous. Think of the actor who takes on a role. The moment he accepts the role in his mind, he begins to live as that character. His voice changes, his movements shift, his thoughts align. Soon the audience believes, not because he forced them, but because he believed first. So it is with you. When you accept a new role in the theater of consciousness, the world must eventually applaud in agreement. And now, let us address perhaps the most haunting question. What if I fail? The only failure is the failure to persist. For the law is unfailing. It must express whatever is impressed. If you abandon your vision halfway, if you surrender to appearances, then yes, you will return to the old pattern. But the law itself does not fail. The harvest always reflects the seed. If you persist, if you dare to stand firm, if you assume until assumption hardens into fact, then success is inevitable. You cannot plant an apple seed and reap thorns. You cannot plant corn and reap figs. The subconscious does not mock you. It delivers faithfully. So if you are not pleased with your harvest, do not curse the field, change the seed. But listen carefully. There is yet a deeper secret, one even Neville himself hinted at, but did not always speak in plain words. A secret about who and what you truly are. A secret that, if grasped, will make your ability to create not just possible, but inevitable. Stay with me, for this is the turning point. The deepest secret, the one veiled beneath centuries of parables and symbols, is this. You are not merely a child of God, a seeker of divine blessing. You are the divine itself, clothed in human form. This is why your imagination creates reality. Because imagination is not a small faculty of the human mind, it is the very power of God expressing itself through you. When Scripture declares, "I am that I am," it is not describing some distant deity. It is revealing your very essence. The I am in you is the creative word, the eternal power, the source of all manifestation. When you say, "I am weak," you do not merely describe a condition, you command it into being. When you say, "I am strong," you summon strength itself. The name of God, I am, is spoken every time you declare your state of being. This is why you must guard it with reverence. To misuse it is to curse yourself. To wield it wisely is to create heaven on earth. Think of this. The universe is not something outside of you handing down decrees upon your life. The universe is within you, responding to the vibration of your own consciousness. You are not a beggar kneeling before destiny. You are destiny itself, sculpting form from the formless. This is the revelation that so many fear to accept because it demands responsibility. It means there's no one left to blame, no one left to accuse. But it also means There is no one who can deny you, no one who can limit you, no one who can strip you of the crown already resting upon your head. If you can accept this truth, that you are the creative power in expression, then life becomes your canvas, your stage, your symphony. No longer do you ask, will this happen for me? You declare, this is who I am, therefore this is what shall be. But let us make this practical, for philosophy without practice is a barren tree. How do you live this truth, day by day, moment by moment? First, you must cultivate awareness. Watch your inner speech. Notice the quiet words you speak to yourself when no one is listening. These are not idle murmurs, they are seeds being planted. If your inner speech is filled with complaints, fear, or self-condemnation, do not be surprised when your world echoes those same notes. But if your inner speech is rich with faith, love, and confidence, then the world must respond in kind. Second, practice assumption. Each day, deliberately assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. If you long for health, walk as though your body already radiates with life. If you seek abundance, carry yourself as though wealth flows to you with ease. If you desire love, embody the joy of being cherished even before another hand touches yours. This assumption is not pretense. It is the rehearsal of creation. Third, use the sacred doorway of sleep. Every night, as you drift into unconsciousness, you are impressing upon the womb of creation. Do not carry the failures of the day with you. Instead, feel the victory already yours. Fall asleep in the arms of your fulfilled desire, and you will awaken to a world reshaped in its image. Fourth, persist. This is the final key. Do not abandon the state because outer evidence has not yet caught up. The farmer does not dig up the seed the day after planting to check if it has sprouted. He waters, he trusts, he persists, and in due time the harvest comes. So it is with you. Persist until your assumption becomes fact.
And now I must speak to the part of you that still doubts, that still trembles in fear.
You may be thinking, this sounds beautiful, but my life is heavy with problems. How can I possibly rise above them? Hear me, you do not need to fight the problems. You do not need to wrestle the shadows. You only need to turn inward and assume the light. The shadows will dissolve of themselves. If the room is dark, you do not curse the darkness. You simply turn on the light. And the darkness flees without resistance, without battle. So it is with your life. Turn on the light of a new assumption, and the old must vanish. Now let us ascend to the final revelation, the promise I gave you at the beginning of this journey. You have listened to these words, perhaps with wonder, perhaps with resistance, but know this. The power to change your life is not something you must earn, nor something you must seek outside of yourself. It is already within you, now, in this very moment. And here is the promise. If you dare, even once, to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and persist in it, your life must bend to its fulfillment. The law cannot fail you. Your only task is to believe, to feel, to persist. You came here seeking change. You came here longing for a breakthrough, and now you know the breakthrough is not out there. It is here, in you, in the simple but mighty act of assumption. Picture your life a year from now. Picture it in vivid detail. See the home you live in, the relationships you cherish, the health you radiate, the abundance you enjoy. Feel it as though it were real, because it is real in the unseen. The only question is, will you persist until the unseen becomes seen? Imagine walking into that life as though it were already yours. Imagine the joy, the relief, the gratitude, that feeling. Hold it now. Do not wait. Do not postpone your heaven. Carry it in your heart today, and watch as tomorrow reshapes itself around you. And if you still wonder, can I truly do this? Can I truly create my life? Then listen carefully.
The fact that you are here listening to these words is proof. For your desire to know this truth is itself the seed of transformation. You did not stumble here by accident. You called this wisdom into your life. You are already creating, already directing, already shaping. The only step left is to do it consciously.
So let this be your declaration. I am the architect of my reality. I am the author of my story. I am the power of God in expression, clothed in flesh, dreaming new worlds into being. Say it until it becomes your heartbeat. Say it until the very cells of your body vibrate with it. Say it until the world itself bends to echo your truth. And when doubts come, for they will, do not bow to them. Smile and remember, they are only the ghosts of old beliefs. They hold no power unless you feed them. Return instead to your chosen state. Return to your wish fulfilled. Return to the truth, I am. Now, as we close, I leave you with this. You are greater than you have ever dared to believe. You are more powerful than you have ever imagined. And the life you dream of is not a fantasy, not a far-off hope, but a reality waiting to be claimed. The secret has always been simple. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Persist in it and watch the unseen become seen. This is the promise. This is the law. This is your birthright. So rise, dreamer. Rise, creator. Rise, divine being clothed in human form. The stage of life is waiting. The audience of eternity is watching. Step forward and play your role, the role you have chosen, the role of victory, abundance, and joy. Before you go, my friend, if these words have stirred something deep within you, if you felt the spark of truth, if you caught even a glimpse of the power that rests in your own hands, then do not let it fade. Hold it, nurture it, and let it grow. Subscribe to this channel so that every time you need reminding, every time the world tries to pull you back into doubt, you will have a voice to lift you higher. Become a member and walk with us more closely, stepping deeper into these teachings, into this community of dreamers and creators who refuse to settle for less than the life they were born to live. And if someone you know is lost in fear, weighed down by doubt, or searching for a way forward, share this with them. You may be the very key that unlocks their freedom. Together, we rise. Together, we awaken. And together, we create a world worthy of the greatness that lives within us. So, subscribe, become a member, share this message, and remember always, you are the dreamer, you are the creator, and you are the power itself.